My name is Jane Maria Eisman, and
My name is Betsy Myrick.
Oh, my name is Dawn Leah Black.
I'm Dr. Alicia Drabek. I work for the Olympic Museum as the executive director, and I was born and raised in...
My name is Toby Sullivan, and I live in Kodiak, Alaska. When the tanker hit the rocks on March 24th, 1989, it was a Friday, I believe. Thousands of people on Kodiak Island who were geared up and ready to go salmon fishing, skippers and crew members and all the cannery workers. They were waiting week by week for the season to open, but every week Fish and Game would delay it another week.
It was right at the beginning of the fishing season, and everybody has just spent all this money, all this time getting ready to go fishing, and now all of a sudden, bam, you've had this blowout on your, on your back porch.
Kodiak Island was completely shut down for the entire season, and although we were ready to fish, we never put our nets in the water. And the reason for that was because there was oily sheen in the water and globs of oil, and Fish and Game was worried that if the nets were pulled up through the oil on the surface, that it would contaminate the fish, and then the fish would be unfit for human consumption and people couldn't eat them.
In 1988, after the Exxon Valdez oil spill, fishermen either were out of a job or working on a contract to clean up oil. Fishermen struggled with competing with others to get contracts and the depression of being out of their typical work. Everyone had been ready to have the best season, just like in 1988. Fishermen were unsure of the future after having salmon season closed. Some fishermen financially benefited from the cleanup, creating the term spillionaire. Some people got contracts and others did not, and some people got rich and some people got poor.
They never let us fish, which is good because we didn't want the image of having pure Alaska wild fish tainted with oil.
On May 25th, 1989, and they wanted to have Exxon have a cleanup, and they knew that Exxon didn't want to have one, so these fishermen decided to have a protest march.
Oh, it was devastating. We were just pretty discouraged.
Well, we were all very scared about what this would mean long term.
there was a lot of confusion. Everybody was ready to have the best ever salmon season.
We just had a really good, the best year ever, the year before in 1988.
However, when
Ruined everything.
oil spill hit Kodiak, the Kodiak fishermen decided to go out of business. They were supposed to be having a herring fishery over in Prince William Sound, and I was sniffing the gills of the salmon to see if they had oil on them.
And that summer, I ended up getting hired and working in one of the canneries, even though fisheries had shut down on the island because of the spill. And it was a really wild summer. First, heavy work experience. We knew they were closing it because there was, swaths of oil coming our way and landing on our beaches and affecting our fish and our animals. And so was this meaning that our fisheries were gone? That how many years, how many decades was it going to take to recover? The cannery's response was to bring fish from elsewhere. So
to have just waited and collected the settlement at the end. It was our resources still has not recovered. There's plenty of experts that can say why or why not, but all I know is in 1989 we were getting ready to go herring fishing, been doing it for 10 years or however long, I'd been involved, and after 1989 never went back because they closed the herring season. Bigger impacts, when you think about it, if you walk into a grocery store and somebody told you that 20 people had just gotten sick eating out of that grocery store, can you imagine what would happen to the sales? No one would want to go out and buy the products.
The oil spill was huge. It was a big deal. End up, dying off because the salmon, the bears, because they eat the salmon, all the other wildlife that is affected just by those little krill starting to die. Your mind just